Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to AstroPrinter. I'm going to hang out a little bit here. I was just over on Twitch for a few moments. I'm actually working on with my CO2 laser today, and I'm actually going to be engraving some items. I've done these before for a customer, a regular customer. So I'm going to be showing you how to do, how to mass produce some items with the CO2 laser. This is a K40 CO2 from Clean X Laser Engraving, and I just want to make sure that the laser is off right now. This is all tidied up. And what I have is some foam board. It's paper on both sides and it's foam in the center. And I cut out these little slots, which are going to be the holding spots for my items that I'm going to engrave. So I'm going to get some of these items here. What we're engraving is these little sticks, these wooden sticks. And I'm going to put one into each of these slots that I've pre-cut to be the placeholder, my template. Hey non-fam, how are you, sir? How is life? So I'm just doing some laser engraving on my CO2 this evening. Hey Dwayne, how are you? I hope the audio is coming through. Please let me know. Just give me that, just say yes or no, and don't forget thumbs up, guys. Please let me know that my audio is coming through okay. I'm just loading up this template. I don't see anything on my stream on the chat about yes or no, the audio is working. I'm going to type it in. Hey, Thomas, Maker Viking. Just asking you if is audio working. Please let me know, please. If it's not, please say so I know I can address that. Audio is low. Okay, well I can probably address. I'm using a different microphone, but I can up my audio output. Let's see, is that better? Yeah, I have a different microphone. I'm used to using my laptop. So if that's better, let me know. So what I've done is I got these little sticks that I'm going to be engraving, these little round sticks that I'm going to be engraving. And I'm fitting them into the template that I made. I cut it out. I cut the template with the laser. And I'm going to home the laser to an initialize. And I have a camera set up on the inside so we can actually let it run while it's engraved. So this is running at 11% power, which is about 5 milliamps output. And it is running at 260 millimeters a second, and it's doing raster engraving. So let me close the lid. You can still see because the camera's on the inside. Let me tilt this down. Let me kick this off. So let that initialize. The laser's running. Just let me check with my glasses on. Oh, that's because it's the one in the laptop. Sorry, I'm using the one temporarily in my laptop. Just to, and also I have the laser on one side and a couple of printers going around me at the same time, so it's kind of going to be a little bit noisy in the background. So some of you may have seen these before. I was actually doing them. I've probably shown them on stream in the past, but I got a new order in this afternoon and to get these done. And since I was going to be doing them, I said I might as well do them live so people come in and see it in operation and ask questions if you want to. So I'm running on this is on a K40 laser, a Kleenex laser engraver K40 laser. It's running at about 5 milliamps. I know it's not as good. It's because I'm using a different microphone. I left the one that's in my office that I normally use, because I use it in there for meetings during the week, and then I relocate on weekends or whatever, if I'm doing any live streams. So as I said, this is running at 250 or 260 millimeters a second. Is the speed it's engraving at, using about 5 milliamps, which equates to about 11% on the laser here. And it does about a run every 8 to 10 minutes on average. And I'll show you the result when it's complete. So how's everyone's day? I know, Thomas, it's late your night right now. What is it, around midnight? And Dwayne, I believe you're in Canada. So I think the time for you is earlier, not later than me. It's 7:41 p.m. here right now, so I believe it's earlier for you in the day, if memory serves me. So this laser does create a lot of smoke because it is burning at a much, it's ablating, not burning, ablating the material at a much higher rate, uh, which allows it to move faster when it actually does its work. Almost 2 a.m., so you're 7 hours ahead. Okay. So as this runs, it moves pretty fast. Um, the reason why I do raster engraving over vector engraving, so vector engraving is following the outline of an item, following the line. Headache all day. Oh, I've had days like that. That's no fun. So it's doing the vector engrave would do a good job. Oh, you're the same time zone as me in Ontario. Okay, Dwayne. Um, vector engraving would do a good job of it. The problem is I want to take slightly chunkier. And vector engraving, if you go too fast, it shakes the whole unit like crazy. So vector engraving is best at a slow speed. Whereas raster engraving is only left to right motion, and that's all it does, over and back, left and right. So you can actually do it at a pretty good speed without having any impact and movement of the part. So let's see what's happening. Yeah, it's about 41% through. So does anyone have any questions about a CO2 laser or about lasers in general or anything like that? I'm happy to answer them. CO2s are not as easy to manage and maintain as a diode laser. A diode laser, you plonk it on the desk, you plug it in, and make sure you have somewhere that's well ventilated, and you hit go. And it doesn't even create as much smoke as this would. Like if if I turn the fan off on this, this thing was filled with smoke really, really fast, and it actually then seep out into the room, and it'd be really bad. So, and even though this is only wood I'm engraving, it'd be pretty stifling. So this needs to have an extraction system. Because of the way it operates, there's there's a laser tube in the back of it, and that laser tube is filled with there's CO2 gas in it, but around that is actually, you need to pump water around it, um, because it gets so hot in there because of the amount of energy that's being transferred by the laser, that you would overheat it, it would crack in a very short period of time. I'm saying have it running for 5 minutes and you're probably going to kill your laser without having water to it. If you're lucky, you might get a little longer than that. So you need to have a water cooled system for this. Now there are some way more expensive laser systems like CO2 lasers that are air cooled. Um, this is not one of them. I actually have a 20-gallon trash can, and in that 20-gallon trash can, I have it about 3/4 filled with distilled water, and I put a little bit of an additive to the water so mold will not grow in it. And then I have a water pump in that trash can, basically coming out through the lid of that trash can that's closed into the back of the engraver to actually pump water through. It's like a fish tank pump, um, or a small fountain pump, and it's actually pumping water through around the tube in one side, around the tube, and out the other side to keep the tube cool. you need to keep the tube below 24 or 25 degrees. If you go over that, you shorten the life of the tube. So, and it's in my house because it gets so cold here in Michigan, I can't keep it outdoors. Like, I can't keep it in my garage because in winter, the water would freeze and I would just destroy, it would crack all the tubes and everything would just get destroyed. So, I run it inside the house, vented to the outside, but the water cooling system, um, I'd probably change it once a year and dump all the water and then refill it again, clean it all out, and flush it and refill it again. So you can see the amount of smoke this is creating, and it's spending very little time in any one location. I could run it a little bit faster by upping the power, but there's no point. It's better to keep the power low so your laser lasts longer, your laser tube lasts longer. Because on these, the laser tube is a consumable. It is expected to die, and you have to pay about $200 to replace it. And $200 for a tube is about half the price of the whole laser. So for every two tubes you replace, you end up getting, you could buy a new laser for that price. So the way I have this set up is I'm running a Raspberry Pi, an 8 gig Raspberry Pi, and it's a Raspberry Pi 4, the 4B with the 8 gig memory, and I'm running K40 Whisper on the Raspberry Pi. So I upload my files to my Pi as SVGs, and then I control the Pi with remote desktop using a tablet computer that I can carry around with me. That way I can monitor the job, and I can I can change the settings, I can pause, I can stop it, and so on as I go, or just load up new files as I need to. Normally, you would have a USB connection from a computer, but I didn't want to go that route, so that's why I went with the Raspberry Pi instead. Now you can K40 Whisper will run on a Pi. Lightburn, which some people replace the boards in these with cohesion boards or Gerbil boards. If you do that, you cannot run Lightburn on a Pi. And I didn't want to have that option. I wanted to make sure it could run independently than tying up a whole laptop just to run a laser. Anybody have any questions about it? Many people are on right now. Let's have a look. Cool. Okay, that job is done. So let's let it sit for a moment so that the last fumes be extracted briefly. And the result is this. It's nice and fast. Do a collection of them and put on the next batch. So how, other than Thomas uh, having a headache, how's everybody else doing? What cheap and safe laser could you recommend for laser newbie? For a newbie for lasers, I would recommend you start with a diode laser. It's a good way to learn. Sane Smart have a laser. I think it's under $200. I think, or which is the laser. It's the one the Genmitsu cantilever style lasers. And that's a 5 watt, 5 or 5.5 watt. Um, You also have R-Tour, and I really like the R-Tour product. R-Tour Laser Master, the original version, is again a cantilever design, like the Genmitsu, but they also have the new one, which it costs a lot more, but it's a really nice machine. It's got lots of safety features, which is the Laser Master 2 Pro. I really like that machine. I do have one. I've done an unboxing of both of those lasers actually, the Genmitsu and the Laser Master, and they're really really good. They um, they do what you expect out of a diode laser, and it's a good place to get started. A K40 laser is not expensive, but you do have the additive part of having the water cool system, having to extract to the outside. Um, a diode laser you could set up on the desk on the outside, or like if you're or get an extractor by a window, um, and it doesn't create as much fumes as a CO2 laser is because it's going to burn a lot faster and ablate more material. So let me just get it started. Then initialize and hit go. Like the one you saw earlier, the detection of the laser head. Yeah, well, that's a diode laser, and the R-Tour has that. The Genmitsu has that. Um, a lot of them, even the new ComGrow, which Jerry has recently posted videos on, the new ComGrow is called a ComGo laser, right? So, yeah, ComGrow has a ComGo. I don't know where they came up with that name, but the ComGrow ComGo laser is a 5.5 watt. Jerry's been doing a lot of work with that, and as a diode laser, it does well. I think it's a 400 by 400, similar to the R-Tour. I don't think it has all the safety features the R-Tour has. I do not have one. They were supposed to send me one of those lasers, and they never did. But I don't believe it has all the flame detection sensors and all this kind of stuff that the R-Tour does. It may have some of those features, but it doesn't have them all. But as again, I don't have one to test one to verify what it does and does not have. Yeah, they are easy to use. Um, the all of those diode lasers are very easy to use, right? They're not difficult. You play around with them. I'd say within 30 minutes, once you have it assembled, within 30 minutes after assembling and just doing some testing, you can be up and running. Um, they even have some recommended settings for different materials, which is nice. But you learn those yourself, so it's not really hard. The Laser Master 2 Pro that you saw, yeah, you saw me using the Laser Master 2 Pro. And you also, if you go back check my videos, you also have seen you may have not seen it yet, but I did do a video on the Genmitsu um, cantilever style laser, which is nice, very small. It'll do about the size of an A4 sheet of paper. It's very portable, whereas the Laser Master 2 Pro is a 400 by 400 burn area, which is pretty large. But if you want something really small that's portable, the cantilever style will do the size of an A4 sheet of paper. The ComGrow Comgo, damn, that's a tongue twister. The ComGrow Comgo is I believe it's a 400 by 400 or in around that size area, that type of volume, and that will do much larger. But it's not an easy thing to carry around. It's larger, but it works and it's easy to set up. But you do need a laptop because you operate with either laser Gerbil or which is free, or you pay the $70 for Lightburn. Lightburn is well worth this money. So I like Lightburn. Jerry likes Lightburn. But I would say start with a diode. That's what I would recommend to anybody. It's an easy way to start before you get into all of the heavy lifting with the CO2. Now the CO2 can do a lot more though, because it's a lot more power. So a diode laser will cut 3 millimeters of ply, maybe 4. You can push some of them to 5 millimeters of plywood. They'll engrave on wood, no problem. They'll engrave on leather, no problem. With some work, you can get them to etch on glass. And Jerry has some of that shown on his channel with the laser. he recently got, the Congo one. Um, they'll really struggle with acrylics. It'll etch acrylic, but it'll struggle to cut acrylics. Um, a CO2 laser will cut acrylic like a hot knife through butter. And if you do it right, you get a really nice, clean, polished edges you cut as well. Where you probably won't get that. I don't think you'll get that with a diode. And even with clear acrylic, a diode laser will struggle with it. With dark colored acrylics, it might work. But the CO2 laser will go through clear or excuse me, clear or colored acrylics. As I said, like a hot knife through butter. It has no time at all. It'll etch through it. So you can actually do engraving and cutting. And you'll see a lot of people who do the LED acrylic stands with the LEDs in the bottom that light them up. They will use a CO2 laser for that and not a diode laser. They'll use a CO2 laser in raster engraving at a high speed, and then to etch the surface. And you don't want to etch too deep because you block the light transference, go through the acrylic, and then they'll cut the edge of it out. But now, one word of warning: if you're going to laser any acrylic, you must make sure it is poured acrylic, not extruded. Extruded acrylic engraves and cuts very badly. It doesn't do a good job because the material is under tension. Poured acrylic, like plexiglass, will not have that issue because it will cut really clean and will engrave really cleanly once you get the settings right, because there is no stresses on the material because it's not forced out in a gelatinous state and forced into a shape. It's actually poured and cast into that shape, which is why plexiglass costs more, but if you're doing engraving or cutting of it, it's a way better material to use. Worth the cost because the outcome is fantastic once you get your settings right. But again, you need a CO2 laser to cut it properly. Yeah, that Congo one was supposed to come to me, and then it's happened a couple of times where they say, yes, I'll do this, and then they go quiet. I would love to show it. The setup of it are probably going to be really easy. I know Jerry did the setup, but there are some new lasers coming out later this year. I know the Focus company, the Focus Tech, who do the Focus O3 F5 printer, that they are actually coming out with a laser, a 5 milliwatt laser at the end of November. What material should you not cut on a laser? Well, if you search on the web, there's a lot. A lot of people think you can do vinyl on a laser. That releases chlorine gas, which will attack your lungs, and as well as that, it will attack the metal on your laser and actually corrode your laser, and actually it acts like an acid. So do not do acrylics or do not do vinyls on it. A lot of other materials, like you can do leathers, but leathers can give a lot of, they have a strong smell, especially indoors. So make sure if you're doing the other stuff that you know will smell. Be careful of anything that's painted. Make sure you're well ventilated. Like a lot of people use diode lasers and they spray tile with different color, and then they engrave the tile with the diode laser, and then clean it off afterwards. Clean off the leftover paint. The problem with that is you're vaporizing paint, and if you don't have an extraction system, you're inhaling those vaporized fumes of paint, which are not good for you. There is a whole long list of them out there, but I think vinyl is the one a lot of people ask about. Paint, anything that you have to paint first, like if you're painting glass to the etched glass, do not do it indoors. Do it somewhere that's super well ventilated. If I'm doing something like that and the weather is agreeable, I'd actually put my stuff out on my deck. I have on a picnic table of my deck that I have on my deck, and I'll burn it out there. Hey Jerry, how are you? I was just doing some burning on my CO2 laser, decided to come on live and hang out with any guys who had time and wanted to stick around. I'm not on screen, I'm just showing the laser doing its job. I don't have my usual computer out here. I don't have my usual microphone out here. I'm just using a different laptop that I use for a variety of other things. And I decided to show everybody, and then we'll talk a little bit about lasers. So Jerry, tell us a little about what do you think of your Comgrow, that tongue twister. What do you think of it? Yeah, you shouldn't be inhaling that stuff, especially if you're doing tiles. Like wood fumes, like smoke, is one thing, but when you get into anything else, like anything that's painted or whatever, I'd keep far away from that, man. That will mess up your lungs fast. I'd avoid that like the plague. I would, as I said, when I'm doing stuff like that, I set it up outside of my deck. I have a table on my deck. I put it out there. I put a board on top of it. I engrave out there. Let the fumes be carried away by the open air, and that's fine. On my CO2, I have the extraction system, which works really well. And at some point, I will probably build an extractor unit for for my diode lasers. So I can use the same exhaust pipe, just use a splitter like you're doing, Jerry. And let me show you the results. So here's the results. It's good, nice and clean. So this guy has come back to me a few times for some of these items we've done, and I'm thankful for his repeat service. He really likes the output of this. So these sticks are all made of hickory, and he actually tests the density of the hickory before he uses it, because what he's using it for could actually damage the product he's testing. So he tests the density of the material before he makes his selection. So, do you any downsides you found to the Congo laser? Any issues? Anything you found that could have been better? What about its safety features? I don't know anything about it. Hey, Chris, how are you? What about the safety features on the Congo laser? What safety features does it have? Hickory dickory dock. Yeah, we don't want any mouses, any mouses or mices in here, right? So, what are its safety features, Jerry? I haven't seen a list of its safety features anywhere. You haven't tested them yet? Okay. I was just wondering if it has a tilt meter, so it powers the laser off if it gets tilted over, or like an accelerometer or something, or does it have a initialize and hit go again? Okay. Or does it have like the flame detection, or does it have a detector where it's running too long and not. It has a tilt sensor. Okay, good. That's one good thing. Does it have the ability to sense if the laser's on too long and the axes are not moving, that it'll kill the laser so as not to start a fire? Yeah, they were supposed to send me one. They haven't, and they've actually gone quiet. Who is this guy? Hey, John, how's life? I'm just doing some laser burning and decided to just put it on live and hang out with if anyone wants to join in while I'm busy working. And I actually mounted my camera inside the laser, so you can watch it as it does its thing. We were just talking to Jerry about the Congrow laser that he has, and we're asking for his input on it. Doesn't look like a resin printer. No, it's not a resin printer. Actually, I have one of them coming this week. Well, it's been shipped to me this week. I'll probably get it in about 3 weeks. Going by the way things will operate on the What does it show up as a resin printer on my feed? Really? Let me check that because if that's the case, I need to change that. Oh, it does. Let me change that. I didn't realize it said that. Let me quickly change that. So I'm sorry, I forgot. I just hit go live. I didn't even think about changing this. There we go. That's better. Just doing some CO2 laser engraving and hanging out. So which laser are you building right now, John? Is the one you? Yeah, I just changed that, so it might take a moment to update if you do a refresh. Um, I just hit go live. I forgot to go in and change the stream information in the studio, but I corrected that now, so you should see it updating. Maybe if you do a screen refresh or whatever, you should see it updating. They should just say doing just doing some CO2 laser engraving and hanging out. The seed maker was months ago. Actually, if they were cigars, I could engrave them too. It would smell though. Oh, I don't like the smell of smoke of cigar or cigarette smoke. So yeah, that wouldn't. I do have an extractor, but some of those fumes do get out. Fake eyes? Okay, Amanda, explain. Oh no, you wrote fake eyes, not fake news. See, don't. Okay, I'll show you when it's done. I have a fairly regular person that comes to me to get some engraving done. He's got a small little home-based business, and he's only recently started it. And he has these little wooden sticks that are part of his kit. It's called a stack stick. It's a way of testing, dinging coins, and to tell if the coin is real or not based on the tone it creates. And he reached out to me and asked me about engraving these a good long while back, and I did a few for him, and he liked them. And since he's gone live with it about 2 months ago, he's sold a fair few of these. So he's come back a few times to ask me to do more. And this is a large batch. Actually, this is one batch of even larger batch that he wants me to work for him. I'll show you the result when it's done. Yes, guys, please smash the like button. And if you haven't, I just decided to do a hangout. It doesn't matter what hot makes. I just decided because since I was working here, I might as well have someone to talk to while I'm doing it. That's why I decided to go live. And hot mix is long over anyway. Anyway, staying busy, I work home, so many things going on at once. Cool. Everyone's keeping out of trouble. That's good. So if you've been on the stream before, you may have seen these already that I've done before. But I just got a really large batch of them to be done. So I'm working. I just started on them today. I just picked them up today to be done. So in process, and I promised a couple of hundred of these for the weekend, which I can do, and then the remain maybe 150, 200 for the weekend. Then the remainder I will get to him whenever I get them done. But I'll do them as fast as I can. Hey Jesse. And the fact that we're all chatting, if you're not alive, you shouldn't be typing on screen, Amanda. So we're about, what is it, almost 70% through this run. Actually, I was on Twitch earlier on. I've actually joined Twitch. I've gotten twitchy. So I joined Twitch, and I've been streaming there for a while. I only have about 3 followers on Twitch, but still, it's a start. I decided to try it out. I've only done two streams over there, and both of them were laser engraving. One was a diode laser, and this doing some cutting, and then I did some of this earlier on over there. One moment. Let's run. So let's see. Well, I don't know. I don't know enough about Twitch to say whether it sucks or not. I just started. As I said, I did 2 live. One was today, and one was about 2 weeks ago. But that was it. Um, Today was the first time I even spoke on Twitch. The last one was just silence. Just the laser engraver doing this work. The diode laser. This time I actually spoke and I talked about what I was doing. They suck so much they make billions. Yeah. Well, for making billions, they must be doing something right, okay? But I've heard Dan heavily promotes Twitch, and he does say it's an easier way to monetize and so on over there. So I decided to give it a try. I may or may not like it. If I don't like it, I just close the channel down, right, or just leave it there forever. Um, but at the moment, as I said, I've never done any hangouts or anything over there on Twitch. I may at some point. Well, I haven't done anything fancy with my Twitch channel, so it's very basic. The AstroPrinter channel is very basic. Um, and I don't even think I've gained enough points for them to store my videos. I believe you need to reach a certain level before they even store your videos. So I think they may have stored today's one because I turned on the option to only store for 14 days, and after I delete it. So I let that out there. So we're almost done here, 96%, almost done. Stick on the next batch. But in this run, I do 20 of these sticks at a time. And it's very basic. It's not any fancy engraving. I need a light pick in the corner. Okay. So that batch is done, and I'll show you the result. So the result is this. Let's see if it's in focus. There you go. And it's all I'm engraving on these hickory sticks. This is what he called them, a stack stick. Let me go back to over here so you can see the chat. Sounds like a get off my lawn moment. What does that mean, Amanda? I don't understand what you're getting at. Like, I wouldn't tell you get off my lawn, but if it was Llama, I would definitely tell Llama get off my lawn. If I know Llama, he'd probably pee on my lawn, so I'd have to run him. No, I'm not putting the eye pick up. No, that's for your channel only, Jerry. It's hard to focus on for the old guys. Yeah, well, we all know what Llama is. Llama really is twice the age of his birth cert. We know that. Or does he have a birth cert? Maybe he was built. I think they built Llama. I don't think, and after they made him, they threw away the mold because you realize they never want to make another one. Exactly. Okay, everyone agrees. Please. Okay, get it set up to do the next one. The tack Llama carries a Gatling gun. Go tell him get off the lawn. Dare ya? Anytime. Let's see what else is happening. So Dan is hanging out on Twitch. I see. So does anyone have any questions about CO2 lasers? I'm running this on my K40 CO2. On a diode laser, each pass would take about 45 minutes for a pass like this. On the CO2 laser, it takes about 10 minutes to complete. And I could do it faster at higher power settings, but you run into the issues of moving by too fast a motion. You introduce vibration, and it's not always good. So how is school going, Amanda? Kids driving you crazy already? Quick check to make sure it's engraving properly. Good. Don't worry, every time I check it, I got glasses. Now, the red dot you see going over Mac is actually only pointer. It does not. That's not what actually does the work. You can't see the laser. On a diode laser, you can see the laser. On a CO2 laser, you cannot. The spectrum is beyond the human vision. I work with adults. The kids are fine. Probably even more challenging working with the adults all the time. I would guess. So are you back to school, full and in person? Are you like with or without masks? Well, that's good. Things are slowly getting back to normal. The new normal, I suppose it is now. So nobody has any questions or anything we do want to chat about or I just thought I would share what I was doing with anybody who wanted to see. And full mass since July. Okay. Yeah, my son's back in school. He's been in school for a couple of weeks now, and they're full. He's in high school, and they all wear masks in school. They started out not wearing masks, but then the mandate changed and they went back to wearing masks again. So as I said, I was just doing this since I was here doing some work, I decided to stream it and see if anyone wanted to come hang out and chat. If you haven't been on the channel before, please like, subscribe, and ding that bell. Um, I'm just doing some work on my CO2 laser, some actual paid job, and I decided to, since it was going to be on my computer sitting here anyway, I decided to share it on the stream so people could come hang out and see what's going on. Some of you are bouncing between this channel and Dan's Twitch. Are you? Twitchy Dan? We have 9 people watching right now. That's cool. For those who just joined, I am just doing a bit of work on my CO2 laser. This is a K40 from Prenex. It's a Prenex laser engraver. It's a K40 CO2 laser. And I'm doing some wood engraving, some little wooden sticks being engraved. It's running at 260 millimeters a second for raster engraving at 5 milliamps, which is about 11% power on this laser. Okay, Chris. Now I'm not posting any comments. I'm just using stream. I'm not using StreamYard or anything like that. I'm just streaming straight out to YouTube with OBS. I'm not using OBS Lab, so I can't do the post chat or anything like that. Just raw OBS. Okay, so almost 70% through this run. I mean, that's stay on long. I just decided to hang up for a while. Lamo should be proud of me to hold this template in place. If you see it in the back corner wall there and the other end where the laser is right now, instead of using blue tape, blue painter's tape, which is Lamo's favorite, I'm using green tape. Gotta go and do my homework. All right, take care, man, and thanks for dropping in. Now, I won't stay long. Just decided to share. That's all. Everybody seems to be busy this evening, so I won't force you to stay on here with me. Maybe we'll go over and raid Dan's stream. If you're on Twitch, consider looking up AstroPrinter. I think I have 3 followers, maybe 4. So if you're on Twitch and you haven't already followed me, please do so. I may not be as busy over there as I am on YouTube, but still, when I do go live, it'd be nice to have some people I know out there. We let this run finish, and I'll finish off after this because everyone's busy this evening, and that was an impromptu startup. So I don't expect people to stay on and hang out with me. Give some good activity onto my YouTube. Maybe I'll swing over and do an hour on Facebook. So I'm still printing toys for tots. If anyone is wondering, I have a couple of trains running. Well, with the few spools I have a couple of trains running right now. Still waiting on the IC 3D material, but that's okay. It'll come when it comes. Okay, job's done. Nice results. All right, guys. Since people are not very chatty, I will let you all go and go about your day. I'll keep working on these. As I said, I might pop over onto Facebook for a while, doing the same thing. If anyone wants to go over and join in there, but I know you're all busy. Just share the love across my different social medias. Until then, guys, have a good one. Take care, and I will see you for definite on Wednesday with my normal Wednesday hangout. That will be definitely happening on Wednesday. So I'll see you then. Until then, guys, take care.